What's going on, guys? I'm Zachary Gray, and today we're heading out to see some snakes. Now, this year has been particularly good for rat snakes, and I've got a few different locations that I want to try. In today's world, snakes are often seen as nothing but a nuisance and something to kill or remove. But snakes are a very important part of nature, same as any other animal. And one snake you'll often hear about being great for rodent control is the rat snake. Here in South Louisiana, our most prevalent species of rat snake is the Texas rat snake. These snakes can be seen in virtually any environment here, and come in many different shapes and sizes. As spring is now in full swing, I'm hoping to show off as many rat snakes as I can today. A good way to see them in the morning time is just by simply hiking areas they'd be found, sunning on forest edges or up in trees. Woohoo! Yes! Have a look at this! Big rat snake. Oh, it's okay. Big rat snake. She's in shed, so she's not gonna be all pretty, but that is a big rat snake. Have a look at that. Woo! That's a big one. Big one. Oh, it's okay. Oh my goodness. First one I've seen out this year too. Check that out. Normally they'll bite a little bit more when they're in shed like this because they can't actually see too well. So we'd have a bit of reason to be nervous. Not very warmed up, but warm enough to start moving around right now. This is a decent size one, probably about 4.5 feet long, I'd say. This snake would probably be gorgeous out of shed. Unfortunately, it isn't shed, so it's going to be a bit duller color. When snakes shed, they brighten up quite a bit. Well, you're very calm. Got a red tongue. The gray rat snakes east of here have a black tongue and a very similar coloration, actually. They're a very similar snake species. They can even mix. Beautiful, beautiful animal. We're going to go ahead and put this snake back and keep looking for more. Rat snakes love to hang out wherever there's rodents or birds' nests. And what better place to find those than barns or old buildings? This is oftentimes why these snakes are seen so often, and why they can occasionally cause problems for people, as they work their way in and around houses in search of food. What's great about these old buildings, old abandoned buildings, wood, and a lot of old roofing, is tin. You can see it's just tin sheeting, and when they get really dilapidated like this, it becomes the perfect home for snakes. I mean, you can see snakes pretty much anywhere along here. I look for stuff around these buildings to flip around and find them, but you can also see rat snakes and king snakes kind of up in the rafters of buildings like this. Texas rat snakes can climb virtually anything, so you can see them in almost any crack or crevice, no matter how high up it is. And the smaller the snake, typically the harder it is to spot them. But since it's just starting to heat up, they should start to move around quite a bit, making them much easier to spot. Rat snake, check it out. It's long way. Just two. One up here. I just saw one somewhere down here, huh? I just saw him. Oh, there he is. Here's one over. What the heck? That is awesome. Have a look at these. These are two baby Texas rat snakes. I had to guess that these guys are actually siblings. They probably came out of the same clutch of eggs a couple years ago. I'm gonna look and see if there's any more, because I know that there will be rat snakes hanging out and stuff like this. There's lots of mice, lots of rats in places like this. So these rat snakes will get all up in this wood. And since it just kind of started getting sunny, they're just starting to move around. One of them's actually in shed. You can see his eyes are kind of cloudy right there. Baby rat snakes are born probably about 1/4 this size. They're born out of eggs about that big. They hatch out about that long. They're a much lighter coloration when they first hatch. And as they get older, their colors darken quite a bit. These are two very young ones. This one's a little bit bigger, but I'd have to guess that's just because of feeding. I'd say that these snakes are probably about the same age, and this one's just gotten a lot bit more food. What's awesome about these snakes is that they've got square belly scales, as you can see right there, and it allows them to grip the sides of trees. And what they do in these buildings is they can go straight up these 2x4, straight up tin. It's really amazing. They can get into any little crack and crevice that you see. And you can see them pretty much anywhere along here. You can see them up in the rafters, in between the wood. They can heat up in between the tin and the wood in the mornings. They can lay out on this when it gets sunny. They can lay on the concrete to get cool. And then they can go underneath the concrete slab for basically winter times and periods like that. So they do really well around abandoned buildings. There's also a lot of other cover around here to hide under. So rat snakes in particular will really love abandoned buildings like this. Alright, let me set you back down on your little bottom rafter. And then you were up there. That's a really cool place to see a rat snake, honestly. Rat snakes are a very adaptable species and live in many different environments, including most of Louisiana's swamps and bayous. These cypress swamps are a perfect place to spot them hanging out up in trees or even sunning themselves on these boardwalks. But it's also a really good area to see some other more aquatic species. Ooh, have a look at this! Ah, look at that. Most common snake out here. That is a big old ribbon snake. Woo, he's whippy! Look at how whippy he is. It's always a good day to catch some ribbon snakes. Ah, he's musking on me. That is what they tend to do. These are like a very aquatic garter snake species. They're actually in the garter snake family. Ribbon snakes, this would be specifically a Gulf Coast ribbon snake. Very long, lanky snake, and he's trying to bite me. Ah, he's trying to bite me. Now ribbon snakes mostly feed on frogs, little fish, and other tiny little stuff. They will eat things like lizards and little mammals and stuff, but typically fish and frogs is going to be the main part of their diet. They're thinner than most garter snakes. The eastern garter snake actually shares the range with them here, but they're a lot thinner. They don't have as much patterning, and they're normally not going to be as bright in this area, although some of the garter snakes here will look very similar to this. I've always had a little bit of a rough time telling them apart, but they are very similar snakes, both non-venomous, so no problem there. Well, we're going to go ahead and let this snake go and be on our way. Watch him take off. Nope, go out that way. To the swamp. Okay, but you're going to go anywhere you want. Snakes can often be pretty tricky to catch at the water's edge, even with a snake hook. While it can be difficult to catch these snakes, the hardest thing for me is spotting them, especially when most of the snakes here are designed to not be seen in the first place. Look at this dude. Rat snake. Can I even get there? Get the snake. Ooh, yep, I can. That I can. Got him. Oh, no, don't bite me, bud. No, no bite. No bite. Oh. Got him. Right off the trail. Oh. Have a look at this little guy. This is a little one, little medium-sized one. Pretty little snake. Got some red in between his bandings. Pretty typical brown coloration. And this is a good time of day to see them. They're going to be all up in these cypress swamps. They're a pretty arboreal snake species, but they will go through this cypress. They'll go all through the water, and they love these walking decks because they can sun on them in the morning, and they can also catch loads of animals and skinks along here. Now another thing that they like to do is climb up into the cypress trees and all up in these wax myrtle trees to catch birds. You'll oftentimes see these guys raiding birds' nests, and they'll even raid duck nests, which is quite interesting. Alright, see a little snake. Step up the cypress snake. And I think he was about right there. No, he was on that vine, but he'll make it to it. He's climbing back down. He'll go up. Go up, buddy. You were going up before. There you go. Now he's got it. And there he goes, back up into the treetops. It's incredible how good a climber these snakes really are. Able to reach out across the smallest branches, and they can scale about anything, even completely flat surfaces. Even other snakes that are really good climbers here, like rough green snakes and ribbon snakes, aren't able to scale trees like these snakes do. Now that we've gotten a ways back, time to leave the boardwalk and search for some more upland areas back in these marshes. It's midday now, so any of the snakes we'd see would be fully heated up and really moving for the day. And soon enough, we got to see one of the most stunning rat snakes I've ever seen, and he was grumpy. Snake. Rat snake. Big rat snake. Check that out. He is gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Hey bud. Hey son. Oop. You didn't like that. It's okay. Cat. I got a snake hook, baby. I got a snake hook. Open mouth. Open mouth. Check that out. Look at that. He's got white, red, brown. I guess he just shed because he is pretty. And he is mean. As you can see, this is a very not happy rat snake. And he's looking at everything that moves. He's like, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. And the camera moves when the wind shakes something. He is just on it. He is very aware. Look at how strong he is. Big, strong snake. He is crazy. He does not like me whatsoever. Big, pretty Texas rat snake. These guys can have a different look depending on where they're at. Some of them will have a yellow look, but this is my favorite look. They've kind of got a burgundy red with that dark brown and black, and then a little bit of white in between the scales. He's kind of like half biting. He's like, ah. He's just like, but he's giving us a good show. I mean, look at that. He's just like, ah, ah. Typical rat snake. No, don't bite me. See, look, he's like, he puts his mouth on me, and then he doesn't bite me. Texas rat snakes normally have a pretty good bite. I'd still rather not get tagged on the face or my fingers, but I don't know. He's got an interesting little display for us right here. Look at him rattling his tail. It's another sign that a snake does not like you, is when they're rattling their tail. Rattlesnakes are not the only snakes to rattle their tail. They're just the only ones with a rattle. In the leaf litter, if he were to rattle that tail, it would kind of sound like a rattlesnake. We're gonna go ahead and let this snake go. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to go and check out the video we did a while back with the yellow rat snake down in Florida. Very similar attitude, very cool snake. That's all for today, and we will see you guys next time. Okay, bud. Okay, it's fine. Be on your way. No, no, no.